1811 4000। यही कंज्यूमर हेल्पलाइन।
जागो ग्राहक जागो।
We're now joined by our two reporters who are going to give us the updates and the account of the situation in two states, from Delhi and Kolkata. From Delhi, we're joined by Sean Russell. From Kolkata, we're joined by Sukarno Sen. Sukarno, Sean, just tell us the state, give us an account of what the situation is in Delhi, though large and large, it is not very affected, but we do know the left is planning roadblocks. When is it going to happen, and what else does it have up its sleeve?
Well, as far as the situation in Delhi is concerned, more than the opposition Bandh, Delhi has been affected by the final arrival of rains in the national capital. It had been pending for quite some time. Finally, it has come, and therefore you have the traffic snarl-ups happening in Delhi. This, of course, coupled with the effect of this Bandh that we're seeing with shops, and especially in such a populated area as Chandni Chowk being shut down. But another very interesting thing I'd like to point out, Shruti, right behind me, perhaps you can see a sentry's post over here that was there in Chandni. Now that sentry's post is being removed to make way for the BJP president and the NDA convener Sharad Yadav and others to participate in this Bandh and hold a public meeting. Now it's quite interesting because one certainly realizes, seeing the removal of this structure that is supposed to protect us, the kind of cost that many have to pay, like us have to pay, the common man has to pay for the sake of politics. And this is true for the Bandh, and as we're seeing right behind me, this is true for our security as well.
Well, indeed very true, Ishan. In fact, I would also want to ask, we're joined by our correspondent Sri Kumar from Chennai. Now, just give us an account of what's happening in Chennai. We also know Chennai is another place which is not very affected by the Bandh.
Yeah, absolutely, you're right, because the ruling DMK government has already supported the price rise, and they are not going to let off anything else, because the situation here is pretty normal, and all the transport services like bus, train and everything is normal, and the schools are open. The office goers, like even the private institutions, they are also going to the offices. So it seems to be a very, very normal day here in Chennai.
Right. Now just stay with us, Ishan and Sri Kumar, because we have with us in studio a guest, Prof.S.R.Khanna. He's the Managing Trustee of Consumer Voice. Well, welcome to News. So my first question to you is that, of course, now you handle the Consumer Voice. The consumer is the common man.
Yes.
Here by the Bandh, called by the opposition parties, it is the common man who is being affected in turn. So it is the consumers, in fact, for which the whole cause is, who are being affected by the end of it.
See, this is political parties of the opposition flexing their muscle. They are actually trying to send a message that we are against the petroleum price hike. I'm sure there are other ways of doing it, but a Bandh like this places a tremendous cost on normal office workers, normal consumers, and the GDP of the country actually takes a hit. Now, if these people who are sponsoring the Bandh had other means of expressing their opinion, it would have been a lot better for India's democracy and good governance. It happens in other countries where democracies are mature. I mean, in the United States, in Japan, in Korea, and many other democracies.
Right.
There is political protest, but you don't hold the working life of the economy to ransom. You do not disrupt the normal life of people.
Right.
But here, you know, people, political parties in opposition actually don't hesitate to take the common man, the consumer, as a hostage in making a political dividend. And they are actually trying to tell these potential voters, actually they are wholesalers of voters, they're trying to increase their political base of votes before the next election comes in.
Well, as the Managing Trustee of Consumer Voice, that's a very strong point that you're making. In fact, that the very cause for which the Bandh has been called is not being, the cause is right, but the way it's being done is not right.
No, even on the cause, I'd just like to say, that all the political parties know very well that oil prices in the country are affected by global prices, and global prices are volatile, and there is no way in which government of India or any state government can control global prices.
Well, that's quite a strong voice. In fact, coming from you, that's a strong point coming, Mr. S.R.Khanna. All right, now also we're joined by Sukarno, our correspondent from Kolkata. Well, we just lost the connection with him. Now, Ishan, over to you. You just heard Dr. S.R.Khanna, Managing Trustee of Consumer Voice. In fact, he is the voice of the consumer voice. And you hear him totally condemning the way this is being conducted, the common man being held to ransom here. This is, don't you think this is a total violation of totally misusing democracy in a way? All right, we're also not joined by our correspondents there. But sir, what do you think is the correct way?
I'd like to urge the leaders of the political parties, because that fiats go from the national leadership to the state leadership and then to the districts and the blocks. Do not indulge in violence. Do not force people who are not willing to shut down their offices and places of business to do it, and don't use coercion. Let it be voluntary. Let's see what the political support behind this idea is. Right. If it is done voluntarily and there's a shutdown, a voluntary shutdown, people are not coerced. You have seen since the morning cars being stopped, window panes being broken, trains being disrupted. This is coercion. Right. And I do believe that in a democracy, coercion does not have a place. Even though in contemporary democracy, political parties can get away with coercion. But I'd like to draw attention to what the Bombay High Court did. In a Shiv Sena Bandh, a private property was damaged, and the High Court made sure that the political party paid compensation for that damage. I hope high courts of other states take notice, and if there is damage caused to public or private property, political parties and those responsible will be held accountable and made to pay compensation for any loss or damage caused to private individuals or public property.
Right. In fact, we'll get back to one more point here. Also, I'd like to go across to our correspondent Sukarno Sen, who joins us from Kolkata now. Now, Sukarno, of course, left ruling state we have there, West Bengal. What is the kind of situation there? There's no flights operating. Is it one of the worst affected states that we have right now?
Well, it is the worst affected state, West Bengal, because this is a state-sponsored Bandh, we can say, because the ruling left front, they have called for this Bandh against fuel price hike. And air services, railway services, in fact, the cadres of the CPIM and the lefts, they have come out on the streets and they are blocking whichever vehicle is trying to ply on the road. So it's a state-sponsored Bandh, and the opposition Trinamool Congress, although they are opposing, but they can hardly do anything because the state machinery has completely stopped working, and all the unions, they have come forward, all the left unions, they have come forward and they are supporting this Bandh, and it is really causing a lot of problem to the people. Especially I have with me few students who came to Calcutta yesterday for their examinations, and they were caught unaware that today is a Bandh, and so they are stranded in this Shialdas railway station. From where have you come, and for what purpose did you come to Calcutta?
See, we came from Chhattisgarh, from Raigad for BEL exams. And we weren't knowing about these that there will be a Bandh here, and there is no train, no bus, and we have to go back also. So we are facing a lot of problems. It's the people who is facing all those problems. Government should take steps for those things which are happening, but it's the people who will get affected by these things, you know. And if there will be buses, trucks, if there will be that will be running, that will be it will be okay. But government should not do like this. Okay.
The fact is, do you support this fuel price hike, because the cooking gas, the price of cooking gas has gone up, petrol, diesel have gone up, and all the other prices, daily commodities, is going up. So do you support this Bandh?
See, Bandh is not a solution actually.
Okay.
We are going to face these problems, but these prices should not hike. It should be low because it's going to affect every people. Whether it will be on transportation, it will be in our kitchens also. It will be affecting. So it should not be like that. Closing and having a Bandh is not good for it.
As a young citizen of India, do you support this Bandh? or to support this fuel price hike? What is your opinion as a young citizen?
No, I does not want to support the Bandh.
Okay.
The price of the community must be low because we belong to the middle class family, and the middle class family cannot afford this high pressure.
Well, indeed, we see Sukarno there. In fact, that is the common man, the consumer talking. Because also we have in the studio with us Sriram Khanna, Managing Trustee of Consumer Voice. Of course, he is the voice of the consumers. And you may have talked to the common man, the students, or those who have travelled also, and they have the same thing to say. They do not support the Bandh. Well, for now, just thank you for joining us and getting us all those details. Sukarno Sen from Kolkata, V. Sri Kumar from Chennai, and also our guest Sriram Khanna, Managing Trustee of Consumer Voice. Thanks for joining us there. So you made some very vital points.